There we go.
You're up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. We're back. We're going to try to pick it up where we left off. I apologize for
the battery died.
Apologize for that. We tanked on that one, but we're back and we'll pick it up. We were talking about ETFs,
right.
And the question I'd asked is regarding custody or regarding the investors' protection. So
right,
yeah,
and what we were talking about is basically why buy the Bitcoin when I can have the Bitcoin ETF eventually, right? So getting back to that, you okay?
Yeah.
All right. So when you buy Bitcoin, you basically own it. It's either on your computer or on a nano. But when you buy it through an ETF, you're allowing the brokerage firm or investment house to hold the Bitcoin for you. So they usually have some type of insurance when it's done. And I've been looking at Coinbase, and they're trying to do that. They're trying to get custody services up, so they have insurance and stuff.
Yeah, right.
And actually, I think they're working with Fidelity to get all this in place.
Right.
How long that'll take, I don't know.
Right.
But at least they're trying something. But that's the reason why you would want an ETF over owning it yourself. I mean, if you're comfortable with it and you trade a lot of back and forth.
So why would I want to do that? Why would I want to go and why would I want to go and buy an ETF rather than buy? Which is there's no advantages or disadvantages?
Well, think about it this way: why do people buy mutual funds or stock ETFs?
Because of
they don't want to own the stock. They don't want to manage the stock. They just want to pick something and have somebody else do it. Yeah. So you do the Bitcoin ETF, and you're basically saying, I just don't want to touch it. I want to be a part of it, but I don't want to manage anything. I want you to manage it.
Okay.
And so you do the Bitcoin ETF.
So that's the advantage.
Yeah.
The advantage is only that they're storing it. They're doing all the daily whatever, and you just get it. You just get to not even have to worry about it, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So now, what's the chances of the SEC approving that? That's got to get your prediction on that.
No, I have no prediction on it. I mean, I don't know. The SEC is going to be real strict. It's highly regulated. Bitcoin's pretty new.
Yeah.
And if the banks don't like it, they can just tell the SEC, hey, be hard on them and take your time. The financial industry and the government are slow moving, so don't expect anything fast.
Oh, yeah, because I know I've been following this since 2017, and they haven't had nothing yet. So do you think let me ask you this: other countries will probably have something before the United States because of the United States regulations? I think so.
Probably.
I think so. I think the SEC. They're very slow movers. They don't really have visionaries in the SEC.
The government,
Yeah, you got Hester Pierce, and I don't know if you know who she is, but Hester Pierce is probably the only visionary at the SEC right now that I can think of that is saying, let's really make a go at this. Let's get this done, and let's make this happen, and let's do it right.
Right.
Generally, the SEC makes a lot of money on fines. I was doing the research on the SEC.
They don't sell products.
Yeah, and that's how they
regulation.
Make. Yeah, and their benefit to that is that there's no clarification. See, so if there's no clarification, then that gives them the opportunity to fine you because you don't really know specifically what you're doing, like they did with Kirk, which was another a company that the SEC fined already.
Well, I mean, it's all part of law in general, right? Usually you write a law and there's always some little tidbit of it that you can twist or get a loophole out of, and so you can play around with it.
So what I'm noticing, though, is that with these SEC and ETFs, the game seems to me is that the SEC keeps saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do this, and you can't do that. But what I'm noticing is that people like Bitwise and all, everybody that's trying to present themselves before the SEC to get an ETF, they're asking for clarification. So what can we do? What can we do, right, to fall within the regulations to be able to get regulations that can govern our ETFs?
Right.
Because if you notice, like I said, I've been doing it since 2017. They've been trying to get it to ETF. These are some pretty smart people, and a
no
lot
doubt
of the,
about it.
Back and Fidelity and Anderson Horowitz and all these different institutions, financial institutions, they've been doing this for a while. And so it's pretty interesting to me is that every time they go before the SEC, they can't get an ETF, even though they're asking the SEC, what do we need to do? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so the SEC at the same time is saying, well, we're working on that. We're trying to clarify it now. We're working on it. And then when they go out and do something, the SEC says, oh no, you can't do that, and they fine them. It's like a cat and mouse game.
Well, the government, that's the whole thing. The government works slow. And you're expecting it to go as fast as these startups, these high-tech startups in Silicon Valley and stuff. There's no way. The government's going to go slow, and it's going to be very modular and small little steps to get things onto the market. And that's basically the way it is. That's how it works.
Tell us this then. So we already know. I mean, they're going to do it at some point, right?
The government has to make sure that it protects the people. All right, so they can't just jump into anything. No. So I mean, you're saying that it's safe and stuff, but I showed you one last night where Wozniak lost $75,000 because he got scammed with Bitcoin.
Yeah,
it was years ago, but still. Yeah. So the government's going to say, well, we can't let that happen, and we're going to be very regulated, and we're going to be slow, and we don't want any type of misuse. Yeah, which is impossible. You can't. Even with anything, credit cards. I mean, everything today. There's still crime, and criminals will find a way.
Yeah, McAfee made a good point. I think I was telling you the other day. McAfee made a good point and said that, look, you can't say you can't do ETFs or Bitcoin ETFs or anything because criminals are going to use this type of stuff. You can't say that because that was the same argument that they were making about cars, like McAfee said. McAfee said, you don't want to build Ford. You don't want to build cars because bank robbers will use the cars to steal money. That's not really, that's not really holding it. But all right. So here's the other question.
Yeah.
The other question would be, if they're going to, here it is. You can't have any other, or can you have other derivatives, options, futures without ETFs? Yes. Or do you have to have ETFs first?
No.
Okay.
No. So
I think we were talking about that.
The base thing is the Bitcoin. All right. That's that you treat that like stock or gold or anything like that.
Right.
So if you have Bitcoin, you can do futures on it to see if it's going to go up or down, and if you have the ETF, you should be able to do options on it, calls if it's going up, puts if it's going down, and that's basically what you call a hedge.
You were going to talk about that.
Well,
talk about that a little bit.
So some people that I've talked to are considering Bitcoin as a hedge. The only problem is we haven't had a recession. We haven't had a down market.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been tested. So right now you could say, Bitcoin's a hedge. If we have a recession, put your money in Bitcoin. Most people put it in gold or precious metals, gold, silver, platinum.
Right.
So whenever a recession hits, people sell off their stock, and then they just dump it in gold, and you'll see gold go up and the stock market will go down. And then normally when the stock market goes up, people get back out of gold and go back into the stock market, and gold will go down. Gold has gone down, but slowly. It's not gone down that much.
So you do see, I do. I can see where the Bitcoin or virtual currency with, Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, I can see these being a hedge against a financial downturn or, recession or whatever you want to call it.
The only thing I can see withholding that is that the market right now for Bitcoin is small.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas the market for gold is huge. Most people, the big investors, right? I'm not talking about small retail, but the big investors.
Right, the big guys.
They're going to pull their money out and either put it in bonds on the down market or gold.
Yeah.
And because when you're rich, it's not so much wealth creation because you've already got the wealth. It's about wealth preservation. How can I preserve
good point. That's a good point.
Right. So when stock market goes down, get out. We'll buy bonds or we'll buy gold, and we'll just hold it. We'll wait a couple of years till the recession's over, and then we'll get back in.
Right. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So what role do you see? Well, now they got this gold. I don't know if you saw Grayscale, but Grayscale's got I think I showed you that commercial drop gold. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, it's marketing. It's marketing. I mean, everyone.
You don't feel too good about that. I probably most investors are going, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, okay. Here's a simple thing. Go out on the streets or talk to your friends at a party and say, "Hey, do you own any Bitcoin or do you own any cryptocurrency?" It doesn't even have to be Bitcoin. Any cryptocurrency. The majority of them will say no. Do you have an account to buy a cryptocurrency? No.
Right.
None of my friends that I know of right now have an account to buy cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So,
and that's kind of a good thing for us retail investors, baby. But,
well, good, bad.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
especially if you're following the news.
if the market gets bigger, if the pool of people buying this gets bigger,
right,
then it'd be better for us because then you're going to have a bigger momentum swing.
Right.
When people buy, there's going to be a lot of people buying, and it'll go up better.
Right.
So likewise, when people sell, it'll go down harder.
Right.
What you're seeing is we need more volume in the Bitcoin market.
Okay.
In order to kind of get it out there and show that it is a real commodity.
Right.
I don't know if commodity is the right word. A real product, I guess, or?
Yeah, I think commodity is the right word.
Okay.
I do. I think commodity is the right word.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So, but again, you just go out to talk to anyone on the street.
Right.
Majority of them don't have a Bitcoin account or a cryptocurrency account or any cryptocurrency.
Right. Right. Okay.
And I've even talked to some people and they go, no, sell yours. Get out of it. Don't do it. It's a trick. They believe it's a scam. So
a lot of retail investors don't, but a lot of people, finance people, a lot of people in the market, a lot of traders, why do they still feel it's like such a scam when it's actually something new? It's a new thing.
That is exactly why. Anything new, people, your first thing is to not trust it. I don't trust it. Look at ATM cards when they came out.
Yeah.
My parents wouldn't use it. They're like, no way am I using an ATM.
Right.
And after a couple of years, they finally said, oh, okay, I get it. I trust it now.
Right.
Now, there's some people that still write checks. They're like, I don't trust credit cards.
Right. Right.
So, and even the your electronic wallet.
Right.
Like the Apple iPhone, you're using that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out here, it's not. To me, it hasn't really been that strong. But you go to like China, and it's all over.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're hit. Yeah. They don't even use cash. They don't use fiat that much anymore. So like Switzerland, I think that's one of the places they don't use fiat at all.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's the advantages. Just to kind of recap, because I know we kind of lost and we had to come back on. And we lost. Sorry about that, guys. But because this is our first live stream, thank you for tuning. By the way, thank you for tuning in. I see your comments. Thank you for putting in some comments in there. This is the future of money, and I'm Rob Tech. This is Art Maurice, and Art Maurice is just sharing with us about ETFs, and he kind of went over what an extended traded fund is, and then we're just kind of talking about why do they keep getting turned down? Why do ETFs keep getting turned down when it's a very important part of finance? And I really think that well, let me ask you, Art. Let me ask you this. Now, the sooner the better for cryptocurrency. The sooner they get an ETF, the better it's going to be, or what?
Yeah, because people will trust the brokerage firm for it.
What do you mean?
So right now, buying cryptocurrency, you are in charge, and if you lose it, it's your fault, and there's no insurance, right? If it's gone and someone takes it from you, that's it.
Right.
But if you're buying it through a brokerage house, almost all, I don't know any of them that don't provide some level of service.
Right.
Insurance.
Insurance, right.
Yeah.
I got you.
And that gets back to custody, right?
Right.
If you're going to have custody of it, I want to make sure that it's protected.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the sooner the better. I mean, I kind of see that once there's an ETF, once the SEC gives us an ETF and it gets in here in the United States, and and we're going with that, then I think you can see more growth, right? More liquidity coming in, more what everybody's been talking about, liquidity in the market, right? Because there's not that much liquidity in the market, right? Right. And so an ETF, what would that do? That would what?
Well, it opens up the market.
Right.
And it's going to bring in more retail investors, because basically the first brokerage house that does it, they have all their clients that are at that brokerage house. And they say, hey, guess what? They'll send out an email or some marketing thing saying, we now have a Bitcoin ETF. And so they can get it to their customers and have them, because they want to get the business too. They'll make money by selling that product to them.
So now how is the price going to be set on these ETFs? How do they, any idea? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, usually.
I mean, how is that going to compete? Because Art has an ETF, John has an ETF, Fred has, ETF. How does that work? I mean, because I know different mutual funds work with different, ways and stuff like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That make any sense? I mean, how does that? I mean, is that part of it?
Well, yeah. We're getting in a whole nother area. I mean, this. We're gonna go for like half an hour.
It doesn't matter. Let's go. We kind of.
I gotta be gone. I can't stay too long.
Okay. All right.
So
all right. He's gotta go. He's a businessman. All right. So we'll give him give us another 10 minutes and another 5 minutes, and we'll wrap
5
it up.
minutes.
Another 5, we'll wrap it up. But yeah.
So we were talking about this yesterday.
Right.
It gets into what's called the velocity of money, right? You have a pool of money, and as you loan it out, you can re-loan it out and make even more money off the money you loaned out.
Right.
I don't have time to go into detail right now. You can easily just Google velocity of money and see what I'm talking about. But that's why all these brokerage houses, well, even banks too, they want more of your money. They want you to give them your money, and they'll sell you.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, sure. That.
Yeah. So the more money they have, the more they can do with it.
Right.
And they're just always looking for new products.
Yeah.
That's why you had mutual funds, and people didn't know how to pick stocks, but we'll pick them for you.
Right.
And ETFs, I'm tired of your fees. I don't like you anymore. We got ETFs. They don't have any fees.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, what do we do next? Well, how about blockchain, cryptocurrency?
Right. Okay. So I guess we'll wrap it up. But look, next time I think I want to continue this Bitcoin ETF conversation, because it's very vital, I think, to the validating of the whole market. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of the future of money. It's validating that whole market, and we'll try to drill down a little bit on the SEC too, a little bit more, because those guys are, like we said earlier, those guys make money by dragging their feet. I mean,
they're not really out to make money. I mean, it's the government. They get money because we give them tax dollars. They don't have to make money. So they don't have a product. They make regulations, and basically they're going to fine you if you break their regulations. But they don't have to make any money at all, because our tax dollars will fund them. Yeah.
And so that's kind of the reason why we ain't got no ETF though.
Wow.
That's why you don't got no Bitcoin ETF. I mean, that's got to be a part of it, some element of it right there, is that
the
banks. I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
The banks are saying there's no real need to put no pep in the step to get no Bitcoin ETF either, right?
Well, they don't trust it. It's too new, right? It's a whole new. It's not just a new product. It's a new technology, and it takes a while. And the government's probably the last one to accept it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to take a while.
It'll take a while. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I really appreciate all of you that are tuning in. And I see that we got some nice comments. I'm going to take an opportunity to read over them after the stream. But I'm Rob Tech. This is Art Maurice. We're going to be talking about the future of money, this kind of conversation. We hope you enjoy it, because that's where we see things going, right? It's a lot of things are changing in terms of money, right? And so we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be focusing in on that. We're not going to be doing a lot of, you know, a lot of other different stuff. We're just going to be focusing on you know, how finance is moving, how
Right.
banking, ETFs, all that kind of stuff. All right, guys. So, hey, thank you for joining us. And listen, on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we'll be talking about the future of money. All right. We'll see you again real soon. Thanks for joining us. Oh, dang, that was horrible.
We're not done. Click it. You said that was